have a Farm Bill update now with Eric DeVuyst, an extension economist here at OSU. And Eric, those ARC payments have been released. Give us an idea of kind of what's happening right now and some background on the ARC payment system.
Okay, yeah, so the 2014 payments were released, the amounts were released recently. And for those that don't remember, ARC is ag risk coverage at the county level. And so what that means is your payments are based on a marketing year average price, which is computed nationally, and county level yields for your county. And those are going to be compared to some formula numbers, benchmark, and a guarantee number.
And it's quite a complex formula that kind of eventually ends up with a payment, right?
Yeah, it takes a little algebra to get there. So we start with a 5-year yield history for that county, and we're going to throw the low and the high out, and we're going to average the remaining 3. And then we're going to start with 5 years of prices, and we're going to throw the low and the high out again, average them, and then we multiply those two together, and we get the benchmark revenue for a given county. Then we multiply that by 86% and we get the county guarantee. So anytime when the county yield times the county price, or the marketing year average price, excuse me, is less than that, that will trigger a payment. Up to 10% of the benchmark revenue, but it cannot exceed 10% of the benchmark revenue.
So it's quite a complex formula, needless to say, but you've been taking a look at the payments kind of received around Oklahoma. Give us an idea of what the range is.
Yeah, so on the upper end, we're going to look at the corn ARC payments in the Panhandle and in the very northwest corner of the state. So Texas and Cimarron County came in over at $100 an acre each. Beaver came in about 88, Harper at about 95, and Ellis at about $95 an acre. And those are the upper end. Now, very, very few counties in the state got anywhere near that amount for their payments for any crop. Those were the extreme. The most common payment amount is 0 for any given crop across the state.
Now, in terms of county by county differences, there may be a little bit of confusion to sort out there for viewers. If you and I are neighbors, I may get a payment and you may not. Explain that. Okay,
so again, it all comes down to what your county yield is. So if we're separated by the county line and we're looking at my county average, you can get a payment and I might not because of what the county yield was. I might have personally had a disaster that year, and but the ARC payment ARC program is not going to give me any payments for that. So I pulled out a few counties to demonstrate that. Harper County got a really nice payment, as I mentioned earlier, almost $95 an acre. But they started out with an Olympic average yield of 179 bushels, where just to the southeast of there we have Woodward County, and they only had a 54 bushel average. So in 2014, Harper County, its yield was under its long-term average, where Woodward's was above it, and so Harper gets a payment, Woodward doesn't. Worked out the same thing, soybeans in Kingfisher and Logan County, side by side. Both of the counties are going to get a payment, and both of them hit their maximum payment level. It's just that Kingfisher had a lot higher benchmark revenue to begin with, and so ends up with $40.49 an acre, where Logan, even though it hit the max payment, it's only $17.18. And there are other extremes, like grain sorghum, comparing Grady with Garvin County. One gets a payment, one doesn't. Same thing with wheat, like Okfuskee and Okmulgee. Okfuskee gets a payment, Okmulgee doesn't.
And it's all based on the 2014 crop year?
Yeah,
or marketing year?
It's based on that county average yield versus that marketing year average price, and we're going to compare that back to that revenue guarantee. And so some counties get there, some don't. And so crop by crop, if we look at it, for example, wheat, the price was about 90.7% of our average, our 3-year average price. which meant that the yield had to come in below 86%. It would have to come in at 81.3% in order to trigger a payment for your county. Where grain sorghum, it was the opposite of that, and you actually could come in at 104% yield and still get a payment.
Okay, a lot to sort out there, but thanks for the lesson. And for people who want to learn more, we have a link for you on the SunUp website, sunup.okstate.edu.